Once I got to college and I was out away from my parents, I don't know, I ended up trying to fit in. You know, I went to parties, I hung out with people, and, you know, I thought it was being individualistic, you know, and very, very artistic because I went to art school, you know, but little by little I compromised everything that I'd been, you know, raised with. I was raised Christian, but it hadn't meant anything to me, and I just ended up getting into drugs little by little. I ended up working all the time and always being tired and just using one drug after another to stay up, to keep going on. I ended up with a really good, high-powered job. I ran a nightclub, and I did everything that went along with it. That's how you proved how successful you were, you know. I had destroyed every life that I touched at that point. All of my best friends, I got them hooked on heroin. Most of them are dead. I know 2 people in prison for life. Not for heroin, but for other drug-related offenses, and they're not ever getting out. And I used my family. I would have told you that I loved them, but I never came home to see them. I was in Philadelphia, and to actually come home on the train and have enough heroin to get by for a couple of days was ridiculous. If I'd actually gotten arrested or something on the train, I would have gone down for major weight because I was shooting up to $400 a day, wholesale. I wouldn't admit that I was a heroin addict, but I had been for 15 years. And I ended up one night in a McDonald's parking lot with a needle in my arm, and the cops pulled up behind me, 6 of them, and I was scared. I was scared, silly, but I didn't pull the needle out of my arm, even as the cop pulled up, because I did not want to go to jail sick. I loved my family, but things just got so completely out of control. I didn't know who I was, and I didn't see any other reason for my existence other than to just suffer and to ruin everyone else's life. And I didn't even think that my family should try. I mean, what was the point? When you're a heroin addict, you're the lowest of the low. Society does not want you. You're not expected to get better. You're not expected to change. You're just expected to die. I ended up at New Life for Youth to pacify my mother, who I still loved on some level, but just was so beyond caring about myself or anybody else that I didn't really know how to even love anybody. I wanted to leave. I couldn't stand the people. I couldn't stand being confined, but I knew that there was nothing for me to go back to. If I was walking out the door, I was just walking into traffic to die. And something kept saying, what if your mom's right? What if there's a hell? As we read the Bible, things just started to make sense. For the first time in a really long time, things made sense. I saw myself in the Bible. I saw all the stupid things that I did in Proverbs. Every one of the Proverbs, the way it told you to be, I had gone out and done completely the opposite. If my God tells me about everything that's possible if you just do it His way, because let's face it, He's smarter than I am. And He knows the right way to do it. Every time He says not to do something, it's probably because it's a really bad idea. It's a really bad idea to go off my own way. The Bible woke me up to everything that was going around me that I didn't know was going on. I thought being a Christian was boring. I didn't want any part of it. I could tell everyone that it is not boring. What's really boring is being a junkie. What's really boring is sitting in front of the TV every single day waiting to die. My stand is that I'm not ashamed of the gospel. I'm not ashamed of the gospel of Jesus Christ that set me free from unbelievable bondage. I'm not ashamed to say it. I I was ashamed of growing up Christian. I was ashamed of my mother. I was ashamed of everything that came along with it. And it's just because I didn't understand. I never tried to understand. And people are scared of what they don't understand, and I was scared of it. But I'm not ashamed of it now. I know what Jesus did for me. And I'm not afraid to tell my friends. I'm not afraid to talk to strangers in doctor's offices. And that's a freedom in itself for me, because I was so shy at one point I couldn't ask people what time it was. But I'm not ashamed of it. I'm completely free. So free that it may be annoying to some people. But I don't think Jesus saved me to keep it to myself. He saved me with a purpose, and I know that purpose is to go and tell other people exactly how they can get set free too. And I'm not afraid to stand up for what's right, what I've come to know through the Bible, through the Word, what's the right way to live. I get tired of being backed into corners over and over by making compromise after compromise. I want to gain ground, not lose it. And every time I've compromised, I felt myself slipping backwards. Well, at some point, I'm like, I'm not going to do that anymore. I know what's right. To fall back into it is a ridiculous chance to take, and I'm not going to do it anymore. I'm not ashamed.